So, please welcome to the stage the first act of the third half, Mr. James Domestic.
Cheers all. Okay, I'm going to do two tonight because the first one's quite short. And it's really, I think it's hopefully will appeal because, I mean, I would imagine everyone in this room is kind of in love with words to some degree, and it's really about the power of words, the intoxication of words, and about books, and all of those things that we get out of words and language. So it's called books. I buy books I never read. I kind of mean to, but I don't. They sit on my shelf and goad me, trying to make me break the seal, but I don't give in, not me. I'm restrained and ever vigilant. It's a love-hate thing. It's a self-preservation thing. Because I know what'll happen. Yeah, I know what'll happen once I start. You see, I love the idea of books, and I love the look of books. I positively swoon at their possibilities and grow feeble over their potential. But I know me, I know I'm weak. And I know the world offered within those pages will tantalise and beguile, and that I'll be immersed beyond the point of sense, that I'll become insatiable, ravenous, and unwilling to return to this world and its obligations. I'll be found in this flat, unwashed, in my own filth, starved to death, but well read. Cheers all. That was from a book I did with another Hastings poet called Dave Cullen. I sort of might know him from the band Haste, and I kind of know him because our bands talked together and stuff a few times. This one is a new one. I guess I think it's going to be in the next book. And really it's about when I left school, which was some years ago, quite a lot of years ago really, sort of in the early 90s I guess. I lived in a seaside town called Clacton-on-Sea, sort of down at the far end of the A12. I don't know if any of you know it. Yeah, probably. If you do, probably don't go there much now. I certainly don't. But yeah, anyway, so I was between terrible factory jobs and other jobs and being on the dole at that point for a period of maybe 2 or 3 years because there was no work there whatsoever. And I remember going on these CV writing courses that you know you'd have to go on really to get your benefits. And they used to say basically you've got to make the most out of your CV. You know, and we used to have a guy there who used to say, remember BBB. Bullshit baffles brains. He said, just make the most out of your CV. You know, whatever it is, just make the most out of it. So it's really about that, and it's about filling your CV with sort of guff, really, just to try to make it sound better than it is. So, you know, fittingly, it's called Guff CV, and all the jobs I mention in this, other than the very last one, and you'll see why that is, are all jobs that I've actually had. Okay, so Guff CV. I've been working really terrible jobs with appalling salaries, so I decided to sit down today and write a Guff CV. A listing work experience seems like the place to start. I'll make the most of what I have, a CV work of art. In a cake making factory, it always seemed to fall to me during breaks in moulding marzipan monkey hands to make the tea. But how can I spin that and embolden with grandeur? I know, I'll call it hydration and filtration manager. And I once worked in the kitchen of a local restaurant, doing nothing fancy, just washing up the pots. But how can I better frame this for the CV connoisseur? I'll say it's Senior Bacterial Eradication Officer. Before I start this verse, I need to say that when I did deliver the Yellow Pages, does anyone remember the singer Sade? Yes. Yeah, I delivered the Yellow Pages to her mum. Well, someone said it was her house. I've always used that as an anecdote, poor as it is. Anyway, so one year when I was younger, I delivered the Yellow Pages, traipsing round for hours on end. It took me bloody ages. But how to make a potential employer look more favourably on this? I'll name it Communication Data Dispersion Specialist. So now I've got a CV that's much stronger than before. I've got some interviews lined up and was confident for more. I'll rock up in my suit and tie, get my foot right in the door, though I do fear probing questions on the jobs I've had before. Most every time I've interviewed, it'd go well at the start, then the piercing questions came and blew my roots apart. To tell the truth, for once I was close to throwing in the towel, but I had one more in the diary, so I thought, oh, what the hell? So I'll turn up in this office, leather chairs, oak panelled walls, various beheaded beasts follow me with their glass eyeballs. There was one of those globe drink cabinets, I always like the look of those. A powdered mirror on the desk, most likely for the nose. My interviewer gets me off guard with his opening gambit. This CV's full of lies and balls and absolute horse shit. I mumble an apology. I guess I ought to leave. Au contraire, the job is yours of Conservative MP.
Cheers all, thank you.
I love that, thank you. And you know what? That was exactly 5 minutes to the dot. That is professionalism. Hey, what a